Alright guys, we'll be back more Final Fantasy 15. So you want to just start chapter 8.
Do you read me?
Holly was even a
Just wanted to thank
fucking
you for
character.
offering to clear out those demons. That'll give me time to treat this mithril for you. There's a hunter who went in right ahead of you.
Yeah, I wonder who that guy
I
is.
imagine there are too many for one to handle.
Sure.
But two of you should be fine. And a little heads up, we're getting some unstable readings from the generators inside. Too much power and the whole place could blow, so be quick.
Will do.
Did I go around? I don't remember. Whatever.
So, you my backup?
I thought we were partners.
Anyway, place is crawling with demons.
It's so dumb. It's like, why even pretend?
Sound familiar?
Save the talk. We got hunting to do. Now, if we're done with the introductions, follow me.
Oh. I thought they were gonna play a cutscene or something. Do, 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 do.
There they are. You ready to rumble?
Oh yeah.
No, fuck off. How do you fucking pass me?
Some pretty fancy moves you've got there. Reminds me of a certain king I know.
Fancy that. Not too shabby yourself. You make a good sparring partner.
I think so.
Red alert, you two. We're detecting a major power surge. She's gonna blow. Abort the mission and get out of there.
I ain't one of the unfinished business. Can't speak for him, though.
Then allow me. I got this.
Well, how about you prove it?
Gladly.
Wasn't touching her level. Shit.
Had all of them?
That's
I
it.
think so.
Nice job. You didn't disappoint.
When have I ever?
Keep it up.
Will do. Now,
Fuck.
let's scram.
That was like really I remember that being a lot harder. Yeah, that was dumb. Oh, thank God Hunter got some XP. Isn't that kind of bullshit that he gets XP from things that he's not even there for? By the way, I think obviously like they're trying to make it so you're not like he's not falling behind the others, but still.
Great work in there. As promised, here's your mithril. And thank you for your hard work.
Sure.
Hey, big guy!
So the hunter who went on ahead.
The one and only. How you been, fellas?
This is so dumb.
Oh, someone did a number on you, though.
You should see the other guy. Anyway, I'm back. And better than ever.
Sure. There's a lot of dumb shit in this game, though, isn't there? I think like I kind of ignored that when I first played the game. When I first, the 2 times I played the game. But like now, like looking at this game again, it's like there's a lot of dumb fucking stuff going on here.
He made it up to me in there.
The power plant. Oh, so you got your hands on some mithril. In that case, I'll go deliver it to Sid. You'll probably want to freshen up first anyway. Come and meet me in Kayam when you're ready.
Yeah, so we're almost done. I guess it's time to... Is there any side content? Yeah, we have a couple side quests there. The Gladius side quest. Yeah, so we're gonna do some side content for a little bit. Is that one down there too? Who the fuck is that? Whatever. Oh, and one up there too. So we're gonna have to do all that, plus also just do the stuff that we've already done. Also, wait, what time is it in the day? Wait, why is the thing glitched? Whatever. Just return a car and see what if it unglitches itself. Do 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 do. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I just realized I'm an idiot. All these quests.
By the cup noodle shop for a sec.
I like cup noodles as much as anyone,
Yeah,
but I
I do.
think you might like them a little too much, big guy.
There's nothing else like them. They're easy to make whenever you've got a craving, and they're delicious to boot. I'll never forget my first time.
Must have been real eye-opening after all the fine dining you did before.
Something dawned on me when I was on my own. Any food you make tastes better when you use good ingredients, right? Then, if you take something already delicious like cup noodles and add in the finest, freshest ingredients, what do you get? The ultimate flavor experience.
Why is this music
So
playing?
I
This is
asked
such bizarre
Doc,
music playing right now.
What's your favorite ingredient?
Meat. Or shrimp, either one.
That's what I'm talking about. Minced meat is the key to every perfect cup of noodles. But why stop there? I say we outdo the ordinary. Find ourselves some real good meat that'll surpass perfection. All that's left is to make our noodle dream a reality.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing
First up,
Psychon Tankin for a while, aren't we?
Yeah, whatever you say.
I forgot actually though that all these quests that we have on here, these are all like, oh maybe not. Oh no, they are. Wait, no they're not. Never mind. I thought they all ended in Lestalin, but no, it's only this one. Wait, where's he? Oh no, because we never did that one, did we? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so never mind. Actually, none of these end here. Okay, whatever. Let's just pick up the quest that are here then. Might as well do that. Who's over here?
So, remember how I picked something up at the market the other day?
Why is she walking like moving like that? I was just trying to hide the thing, but still, it's weird.
Well, this is for you.
What is it?
You put your life on the line every day. So I wanted you to have a little insurance. A lucky charm. It's called a Moogle.
Yeah, I'm
This
well
one's gonna
aware.
look out for all you guys.
Sure.
Keep him by your side, and he'll take care of you. And if he gets roughed up, I'll take care of him. I'll be in Kayam. Later.
I always found Iris, like her entire thing here, like really fucking creepy. Like, so, like to be honest, I didn't even know she was fucking 15. That's even weirder now. But I assume she was like 17 or 18 or something. But like that she's like 15 or whatever, 14 or whatever she is. Like that's even fucking weirder. Yeah, what time is it? It's 9. Okay, so we have time to do other shit. Wait, just want to make sure that is it for this area. Yeah, so we gotta do a lot of picking up of quests. Oh my god, there's more shit there too. So we're probably gonna spend a while in chapter 8 here, but whatever. It's fine. It's probably like the shortest chapter, like gameplay wise, though, right? Like if we weren't doing these side quests, like these would all be like done super fucking quickly. Oh wait, is his quest here? Well then let's do it here. I didn't realize that this quest was just here. Where? Oh, yeah, we'll do it then. Fuck off. Do 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 do.
Welcome. Would you like something to eat? What would you like to know? Thank you. Please come
Okay,
again.
so where'd they go?
With all that muscle, behemoth meat's gotta have a good texture.
Okay, I'm still do all these.
Ask them a question, they always got the answer.
Their knowledge is impressive, as is the freedom with which they share it with others.
Let's move before someone else in the know beats us to the punch.
Okay, so then we'll go and do... And you know what, let's just do this. And then we'll pick up the quest that's up there
Ready for more?
afterwards.
You bet.
Let's hit it.
Okay. It's gonna take a while, right? I think I said 3 minutes. Yeah, I mean, there isn't that much to update on. Again, outside of us dropping Wrath of Druids, it's kind of just the same shit. I already talked about it. Yeah, I mean, later today, again, gonna write the Persona 5 Strikers review. If I have time, I might get around to starting the 13 Sentinels review, but that's if I have time. I'll probably actually, something I still haven't done is finish the conforming process on Yakuza Like a Dragon, so I'll probably do that. Just get all the footage that are conformed. Oh yeah, I still need to export the stream from last night and make a thumbnail, but that should be pretty quick. Yeah, really today I'm going to take it a bit more relax. Nothing that like I'm really like in dire need of finishing today. So yeah.
So Nox, I've been taking pics of whatever catches my eye, but what do you want to see?
Let's see, Ignis. Why not?
Get some more shots of Specs.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'll
Specs.
see what I
That
can do.
guy that we definitely call Specs. We're only halfway there. God damn it. Well, yeah. I do it again. I don't really have that much to talk about. Top Games of the Generation video is still like the next big game project I want to work on. I mean, like, obviously I'll have to wait until after Mass Effect, but after Mass Effect, that is the next big game project we'll work on, which there's some games I need to play in order to do that video. I mean, Nier Automata we're replaying anyway because of the retrospective, so it's like that kind of works out. But Gravity Rush is something I'm thinking, like, I think some of these games I need to replay I'll probably end up playing on stream. It's like Death Stranding, I think I'll end up streaming. I'll probably stream Gravity Rush, stuff like that. But then also I think in terms of games I haven't played yet, there are a couple games I still need to play as well. Like The Witness is something I want to play. I want Metal Gear Solid 5 is a big one. I think that might, like, it's like a lot of these other games, like, I don't feel like they have a chance of making a list. So it's like, I don't know if I really want to spend the time going out of my way to play them. Stuff like Wolfenstein 2, Monster Hunter World. I might play Celeste and just see how it goes, but either way, it's like stuff like that. It's like, at the end of the day, it's probably not making the list at this point. Either way. Almost there. Cool.
Not much to look at.
At least we can buy weapons here.
Alright. Alright. Yeah, so, actually, you know what? Something that I don't know why I just didn't start doing. We can listen to RJP, because I haven't been, I'm pretty far behind on that, so.
This season. During Big Brother 21 and 22, I've asked the audience about like their thoughts on the competitions overall. Definitely the highest score we've gotten here. 79 out of 100. Good competitions this season. They did a good job.
Especially, you know, during a pandemic too. You know, we saw, you know, the Big Brother 20, like a lot of the Big Brother 22 competitions weren't really that fantastic. And so I thought, you know, Big Brother Canada 9, they really delivered with a lot of unique and inventive competitions. So I would definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think it was likely because of COVID restrictions that we got so many good competitions that weren't overly physical and led to a result where a lot of people were even going into many of these competitions. I thought that was really good. I really hope they continue in that direction, but I don't know that they will without COVID restrictions restricting them. They may decide that they like their big set-piece physical competitions, and they like the same people winning the same competitions over and over again because it gives them a nice, easy narrative to follow. So we'll see if this continues, but I did really enjoy it. I think the competitions were perhaps the most important element of the season being as good as it was, right up there with the cast overall. And so definitely loved the makeup of the competitions this season. Final question. I wish I'd been asking this question in previous seasons because I feel like it's a great thing to track over time. But I asked the audience, how did you feel about the jury's decision? Do you think they made the right call? Did you love their decision, or did you hate their decision? They made the wrong call. And 84 out of 100, great score. People really liked the decision the jury made. They think the jury made the right call.
Back in the car, and then we'll get the closest question mark.
Yeah, this one's a good one to start the survey on because it was an easy one. But that's why I was like, I wish I had the data from previous seasons now.
Right, I wonder what it would have been for like Big Brother Canada 7.
That would have been an interesting one. Big Brother like, 20.
That one was kind of even.
Yeah.
That's a fishing
interesting stuff. There. All right.
Everything
Let's
in order.
get into it then. Let's rate the players. Let's do it.
Very excited.
I have no idea anymore.
Me too.
But I wish I knew what I had rated players in previous seasons so I could like compare them. I should have looked that up, but I did not think to do that.
Well, I can try and help you a little, as much as I can here. I've got some of them open here. Let's go in order. Let's go in order of eviction here. So first person evicted was Julie, and I've got to say I have no idea whatsoever what I'm supposed to rate Julie, considering I saw basically nothing of her game. She was obviously not on the feeds, and even on top of that, I feel like in the episodes we didn't really see anything about like why she was evicted. I think the only thing I can go off of here is that, again, I do not believe that she would have been evicted if this had been a regular week. Victoria would have won the HOH. Victoria would not have nominated Julie, and Julie would have been safe. Austin would have won week 2. She would have been safe week 2 as well. I think that without that twist, she is at least into week 3. And thus, I can only assume that she did get screwed by a twist to some degree. Add on top of that the fact that I really don't know much about her game at all. and I'm gonna be, I think, generous and just say I do think she made some
Don't forget
mistakes
where we
in what I
parked.
saw on the episodes, but I'm just gonna give her a 4 and just be like, all right, you know. It's,
four
I
is
know
too high.
very little. What little I know was not great, but there's a lot of reason to believe that you got screwed. So it's a 4 for me.
I
That's
feel
what I'm
like
thinking.
4 is too high at that point. I think you gotta give her a 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's not, you know,
Without any kind of
too
plan,
far off.
crush the
I mean,
opposition.
because, you know, I think, you know, if you're a first boot, you most likely did something, like, you know, even if it's just like small social stuff, then, you know, there's a reason why you were the first boot. Maybe it was like social cues or, you know, but again, we don't really know because we didn't have feeds for that. So, yeah, it's really hard. You didn't ask me, Darren, but I mean, I'll just say mine. Hello. I'll give Julie. I'm gonna give her a 3 just because you know she was the first boot. I don't want to be like too high on her, but I
give
think
her 4.
right twist. But yeah, I don't have that much information.
Yeah, I'm giving Julie a 3 as well because I don't know enough about her, but at the same time, like and to be fair, this is just like the edit, I guess. But to be fair, I did see.
Yeah, I think at the point that you're giving Julie a 4, we're bringing a 3. I think that
Josh
is
a bit, and getting into it a bit with like Toya a little,
we just killed a
and it
random
does seem kind of
Chocobo.
like
Evening already?
she's not afraid to like
Time flies when
just
you're
speak
having
her
fun.
mind and be like, this is it. And if you're already, you know, getting into confrontational situations in the first week, it's a little like, and also like, you know, to her credit, it might have just been because she was on the block and felt the need to defend herself in those situations, and maybe if she wasn't on the block, she could have kind of like sunk back into the background. We don't know, but all we can go off
I
of
don't
is
care.
what we've seen, and I gotta give her a 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think about something like you know, Kiefer at the Final 4 is basically laying down and dying. If Kiefer was vulnerable in the first week and was one of the people that people were like, oh, we might vote out Kiefer.
Oh, this is also
And
right
his
here.
response was similar to the one that he had in the Final 4, which was like, well, okay.
Level 99.
And he was the first one out, and we hadn't seen anything from him.
Ugh.
Like, that's all we would know, and we would not know that Kiefer was at least a little bit better than that. Right? So, I think my point being, I think that, you know, players that are targeted right out of the gate, I think that, you know, they often will have more that they potentially could have shown, especially if we didn't even see what they had to show on the feeds. The audience, though, disagrees with me. The audience gave Julie a 2. Rare instance of the audience being the lowest on a player here. So next up, next person evicted was Josh. Josh. Yeah. Phil, you want to start with Josh?
I mean, for me, I can go ahead. Yeah, for me, Josh is just a 1. I mean, there's not that much. You know, he definitely just from watching, you know, what he did in the house. Everyone kind of just like Josh kept on trying socially, but like he just did not have that, and that's kind of the fundamental thing you need to be a good Big Brother player. Doesn't matter if you have all the strategy in the world. If you can't actually connect with people, and if you can't actually
Oh, fuck, I'm
get
an
along
idiot.
with people in the house,
Push wrong
then
button.
it's going to be hard for you to do anything. So, yeah, for me, Josh is just like a 1. I feel like if you put Josh in a lot of Big Brother seasons, he's either going to be someone who just kind of can't get along with people and then get taken out early, or maybe he will get dragged somewhere. I would probably say that. And we also just don't know whatever happened on day 3, right? We never figured that out.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know. It was, I know Josh was, like, talking a lot about, I think he might have said to Kyle, like he can't win this game. Idiot. And I don't know. And the Pretty Boys 2.0 stuff, who knows exactly, but I'm with you. I mean, Josh entered the game, immediately had 0 social capital. I think that he's a fun guy, and I appreciate him outside of the house, but he had just no chance in this game. And the problem is, I don't know of any cast that he would have just immediately fit in. I think that he's always going to be a little bit of an outcast, and you know, obviously that's not really play well. So I did also give him a 1. Melissa, what do you think?
The real battle begins
you're muted.
when he's on the hook.
I think you guys are wrong. I don't know. Like, I don't think Josh is like an amazing player or anything, but I think you guys are. I think it's a little unfair to just be like, oh, he's always going to be an outcast, like no matter what cast he's in. I don't see that necessarily. I think that like he was in a bad situation, and I think that like under normal situations, like he could have said like, yeah, this looks kind of like the Pretty Boys 2.0, and then that person could have been like,
Lights on,
yeah,
guys.
you're right.
Indeed.
And then nothing would have happened. I just feel like it's like he just talked to the wrong person or whatever. And like, but I think that, and then I think once you're already like a pariah and you're just like on the block or whatever, like people aren't going to like try and work with you or hang out with you because you're already on your way out the door and they don't want to be the next one. So they don't want to be associated with you. And I think that like, had that not happened and had he just been put in a different set of situations, like I think he could have gone a lot further. I think that, yeah, I just think that the whole like blow up in the beginning with Julie like did not suit him, and I think that maybe that wouldn't have been, maybe then like they wouldn't have seen him as this like outcast had that not happened. I just think, I think that it's a little unfair to give him a 1. So to be honest, I'm between a 2 and a 3, and I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to give him a 3. That was my initial thought, was give him a 3 because I don't really know how he would do. And I think if you're immediately off the bat, like just totally, you know, put off, like people just like don't give you a chance because you're on the block for whatever reason. I think it's hard for you to come back from that. And I do think that he came really close to coming back from that. And I have to give him credit because he almost got that vote flip. Maybe it wasn't necessarily his doing, but the fact that it almost happened, we could have seen more. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just a like foregone conclusion that he was going to go. So, and I also think he worked really hard to try and like blow up the house and get people to turn on each other. And you know, I do think that I have to give him credit for that. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 3.
Yeah, I mean, for me too, it's the fact that like he goes out on an HOA train that shouldn't have even been targeting him in the first place. Like Austin had no business targeting Josh that week, and it's still the week that he goes, which tells me that like this was not a case of like, oh, bad luck with competition outcomes. It was like that was about as good as it could have been for Josh in terms of competition outcomes, and he still went out.
And also like why do we sit there and say that we think Julie would do well?
I'm not saying that I think Julie would do well. I'm saying
that
I don't know.
But you gave her a 4 or whatever.
It's like which is a bad rating.
No, I know, but in comparison to Josh, it just doesn't make sense to me how like.
For me, they're like back to back.
She could do really great things, but Josh, no way. We could never see him doing well. It just doesn't make any sense.
The difference is that I've seen a lot more of Josh. I saw a whole week of him on the feeds. I know what he's like when he plays from behind. I know that when he went into the house. More so than what we saw, at least from Julie, he sort of put himself there with the Pretty Boys 2.0 business. And so the main difference for me, again, is that Josh was a target week 1, a target week 2 from people that shouldn't have been targeting him, would have been a target week 3, whereas Julie would not have been a target week 1 or 2 if it had not been for the twist. And even bigger than that, the difference is that I know a lot less about Julie, and so she's going to gravitate more toward middle for me. I know a lot more about Josh, enough to say pretty confidently that I don't feel like he's going to do particularly well in any season that he's dropped into.
Yeah, to give credit to you, Melissa, I do kind of give him respect for trying to get the vote flip. I don't know if the flip would have actually happened, but I mean, props to him for not laying down and dying for sure. But also, I personally just think that, you know, the Pretty Boys 2.0 comment, you're saying like if it happened on another season, someone would have totally brought into it. I might agree, but I also think that, you know, in order to make those kind of comments, you need to kind of have a social foundation first. I feel like you need to really have that connection and that bond with someone. And I get that, you know, he was maybe put in a bad position, but I think some of that still kind of was a little bit of his fault, and just, you know, not having, like, you gotta, you know, have those social bonds before you start calling people the Pretty Boy 2.0. But I understand. I definitely know what you mean, though, with just him. He doesn't lay down and die. He did something, yeah.
it's just hard for me because it's like, I think the Pretty Boy 2.0 comment is so innocuous, and like, I think it was played up so that way they have a reason to like go after him.
Yeah, but you still default them for like them wanting to go after him.
Oh, I think an all-girls alliance is forming. And then does anyone target the person who said that I think an all-girls alliance is forming? It's like, no, they say, well, there could be an all-girls alliance. Like, who knows?
said that
But
last
they never
time.
just immediately like, you called it out. You said there might be an all-girls alliance. Okay, we are targeting you. It's like, that's not even a like. Everybody should be questioning whether an alliance is forming. Like that should be something we bring up.
Is it like too late in the day?
Why would you even say such a thing? It's so crazy to me.
I mean, that's exactly. I mean,
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
Is that
that they were creating excuses to target
he should
him.
have allies. He should be able to say those things. They are reasonable things, but he wasn't. The way that he delivered it, the fact
This
that he
will
didn't
make a
have any
fine
allies,
print.
sunk him. And he did so while being
But
vulnerable for eviction.
wasn't he already being targeted prior to that comment?
Well, we can't know exactly, but from what was talked about, it was like, well, no, day 3 caused everyone to go against Josh, and then that whole blow up.
And wasn't he like so? But wasn't it a situation where it had to be him because of the team twist?
No, everybody.
There were like
was
6
available
people.
to be
Yeah.
evicted on the,
When
Team
he was
Defender.
first, when he was
Arenea.
first,
She's
he
a little
nominated
different.
first week.
Certainly
Am I
doesn't
just
fit the
misremembering
Imperial
this?
All of Team
profile.
Defender was, except for Kiefer, was nominated first week.
And then next week he was nominated, and everyone else was able to be nominated.
Next, the following week, Austin could only choose from Team Defender
There's a
of
tackle
4
shop
people
out by
to
the
nominate.
Best place.
And he was one of them.
And he was one of the people she chose to nominate and then subsequently target.
And then he went out.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm like misremembering. But no, but still, I do think that the point still stands that like once you're already like being considered, I mean, if there's only a small group of people that to be
What?
considered, and you're one of them, like you're already going to be on the out. Like I feel like it's not a situation where you're going to be like totally like everyone wants to work with you. It's like no, you have like that scarlet letter or whatever on you because you're eligible for eviction, and nobody wants to get caught up in that, especially if people are like, well, I guess let's just get out Josh. I just feel like it's one of those things that like it's a snowball and it just keeps going and going and going until eventually you're out of the house. No one's gonna want to work with you. I don't know. I look, I'm not trying to argue that Josh is like an amazing player, but I do think it's like a little bit unfair, at least from my perspective, to say that Julie was a better player than Josh because I don't think we've seen anything from Julie to indicate that. Or well, if you
I mean,
popped her
but
down
you
in
are
any
though,
other
aren't you?
season, I don't think she would be necessarily in a better position than Josh would be.
I don't
from
either.
what I've seen,
It's that I'm less
You
sure.
get a good cast like
That's
that.
the difference.
Put your back into it.
from what I've seen from Julie, I don't know if she would do any
See,
better than
I
first
think
two.
I personally would say it would be unfair to say that we definitively know that Julie is a worse player than Josh, considering we haven't seen anything from her.
True. But that's why I put them at the exact same score, and that's what I think they should be, is the exact same score.
Okay. Tammy in the chat says, according to Kyle, he made a final 2 with Josh on day 1. Josh got paranoid Kyle was forming an alliance without him, therefore he blew him off. And that was part of the day 3 stuff. I do recall many of the guys in the house talking about like if only
Look at
Josh
the
had not
size
blown
of
up
that
because
thing.
we were cool. So it's again we really just don't know about what went down there.
Is this the fish then?
The
This one
audience-
seems a little hard to
And not
catch.
to like harp on this, but like I hate the idea that if somebody brings up like, hey, I wonder if these people are forming an alliance, that is automatically like, oh no,
I mean,
why
it's a
would
pretty
you bring
bad
that up?
thing
Yeah,
to
that's
say
yeah. What are you
to people
talking
that you
about?
can't trust.
I
Like
don't
you
know,
should
I
only
don't-
say it to people that you can trust that are aligned with you. And the problem is that he didn't have any solid allies that he, except for perhaps I don't. Clearly, the people that he went to were the wrong people because they blew him up, and then he got blown up.
Yeah, I know, but I don't.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just don't think that anybody should be like shamed for like being concerned about people forming other alliances. I feel like this is something that we always.
Yeah, but don't let
I'm
people
not saying
know.
you're shaming them. I'm saying the people in the house were shaming him. I think the issue is that like we always are like, why aren't these people noticing these giant alliances around them?
Yeah, but
It's
you
because
don't make
they're
it
not
known
saying
to the people
it.
that
And
you're
the second somebody
distrusting that
says
you're
it, like,
distrusting them.
Everybody's like, why would you say such a thing? We shouldn't be concerned about other people in this house. Like it just seems so like I don't know.
The dogs are getting upset. Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely would like for players to be on alert for things like this. But at the same time, I don't want them to just start blabbing to anybody that will listen about it, because they need to be smart about it. They need to tell the right people, the people that they can trust. I do agree. I don't think that players should be shamed for trying to call stuff like that out. I think that you do have to make sure that we're talking to the right people when you do bring it up.
Yeah, to be fair, I think it's also hard in the beginning of a game to know whether or not you can trust somebody. Like, it's like you have to broach these topics and like bring these conversations up in order to form trust. But then you shouldn't do it because you can't trust them fully yet, but you can't trust them until you've brought up these important conversations. It's like, yeah, but I don't know. It's like, from Josh's perspective, it's possible that he thought he could trust, who was it, Austin? I don't remember who he brought it up to. And then it's like, oh, actually you can't. And now we're like, oh, you should never have done that because you couldn't trust her. You only bring it up to people you can trust. But maybe he did think that he could trust her. I don't know.
Yeah, figuring out who you can and can't trust is definitely a big part of the game, right? Okay, so the audience decided to give Josh, if I can find the tab again, a 2 for Josh from the audience.
Right in the middle, split it, perfect. It's right in the middle. Everybody's happy.
Okay, let's move on to our next evicted player, and that is going to be Latoya.
Mine's almost broke.
So soon. It seems too early to be talking about Latoya. Like, well, how are we talking about Latoya already? That's what I mean when Jen says she has such a big presence on the show. Melissa, let's start with you on Toya.
Ugh, I don't want to start. I'm really actually confused about her.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Yeah, for me, I mean, it also, like, as soon as, like, Latoya entered the game and, like, from watching the first few episodes, you're like, oh, snap. Latoya is, like, a player that's gonna be, she's one of the main characters of this season. At least she was in the first, couple of weeks. It's like, she's a player that has the longevity. She has this alliance set up, and now, she's ready to go. And I think a lot of that was just due to us just watching Big Brother 22, where kind of, like, the main characters were established early on, the main alliance was set, and then that's kind of just how everything went. And so kind of the surprise of having, someone else, like a Victoria win an HOH and then taking out Latoya was like a complete shock. For Latoya, for me,
barely got that.
It's hard for me to ultimately say, I don't know, this is something that I was definitely wrestling with because I think, I try to factor in, like, is it her coming back or is it just her in this season? But I always like to think of just her in this season. And I think she just played, she played very aggressively. She played hard, and I know we all love that. We love to watch it. But I think in this case, it definitely failed her. She has a lot of
all that time getting a fish that we didn't
for sure,
need.
but I think she, is very, very, assertive with what she wants, and I think that kind of ultimately failed her. But I still kind of do have to give credit to her. I don't know. I'm going to be at a 4 for Latoya. That's kind of how I feel about her overall. It's hard just because I think if you bring her back, she might do well, but you got to look at her in this season, and so I think I give her a 4.
Yeah, that's actually what I have as well. I think I would give her a 4 because I think there are some good things and bad things about her. I think she is very influential, and I think she's very smart. However, I do think that her social game lacks a little bit just because, she didn't really want to work with people that were outside of her alliance. I mean, you saw how she kind of treated Victoria. Not that she treated her all that bad, but she just didn't want to work with her, and it was like very clear. And also, she didn't want to lie. She wanted to, like sort of lie, but never really actually directly lie to somebody, which I don't think is good for you in Big Brother because I feel like it puts you in a lot of bad situations. The whole thing with Julie, I think it was Julie was trying to talk to her, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not having this conversation." It's like I'm going in the hot tub. It was like, okay, that is not the way you handle this sort of thing. Like, that's just not the way you do it at Big Brother. I mean, it's not.
Yep.
And I don't think that would serve her well moving forward. Also, she comes in and she plays really hard. She can't just sit back, and I think that's going to be a problem for her. But, all that being said, I do think that she's a really intelligent person, and I do think that the fact that she's able to flip votes like that, like how she was, I think that's very impressive, and people wanted to work with her.
Right behind you.
So, yeah, it all kind of, like, evens out a bit to a 4 for me.
If you're serious
Yeah,
about
I
catching
thought this
you're
might
gonna need a
be
big look.
controversial, but I went with a 4 for Toya. I think that her gameplay definitely left a lot to be desired. That there were a few things that she was clearly too out in front. That she was very inflexible. She did not want to lie. She was very loyal to her people. She was approached with other offers. She was in a position socially, because she was socially great, strategically one of the better players in the house. We're going to talk about Ty, our winner, had arguments with her about how he should absolutely make a truce with Kyle and Roe because they were going to be cool with him, and her being like, no, you idiot, what are you thinking? She had a good head on her shoulders, but she was not willing to get down and dirty in the same way ultimately that Ty was, and that definitely hurt her game. However, I do want to also say that I think that if anybody else had won that HOH other than Victoria, Ty and Jed are the targets, not Toya. And it took some very specific circumstances for Toya to be evicted. Now, she was a big target out in front of Ty and Jed. She definitely would have been up there on the block with them in a lot of different circumstances. But I do think she got really unlucky with that Victoria HOH. And for that reason, I do think that she had potential. I think she had almost as much potential as Ty or Jed when it came to that trio, the original trio, right? Certainly as much as Beth did. Ultimately, I think she would have performed better than Beth. The reason it's a 4 and not anything higher is because what I did see from her was not great, and the inflexibility was definitely not great. I wish that I'd been able to see more. I do think she has potential, but it's a 4. It's a 4 for me. And the audience is with that as well. They also gave her a 4.
Wow, that's surprising that we were all on the same one.
There you go. So next up, next person evicted on Kiefer's HOH was Kyle. Man, Kyle's an interesting one as well, because Kyle is somebody who clearly had potential. He's taken out by Kiefer because he is the best player on the other side of the house. And it's
let's see, is there any fishing gear places here?
Kind of negates the fact that he's the best, because if you're clearly the best player, then that doesn't help you a whole lot in the games. That makes you become a target. Kyle was targeted over Rogue, who Kiefer had a grudge against. And so, I'm struggling. I feel like there's a line here.
Dating habit.
Welcome. For Kyle, where I can see the potential. I want to reward the potential.
Take care now.
But at the same time, he was evicted. He was evicted. He would have been evicted over Roe. He was evicted over.
I don't think he would have.
I think he did a decent job at campaigning, but unfortunately Terra kind of sunk his ship before he even started. He did a great job of rallying troops. He had a wrong read initially and approached the wrong people who ended up ratting him out. But then he was able to figure out what he needed to do and the people.
Where do I need to go?
He got them.
Like, where do we buy fishing gear and stuff at?
Experience and knowledge about the game going in than many of the other players in the house, having literally practiced during Big Brother camping. But at the end of the day, I think for me, it's that ultimately he was ineffective. And if Kyle had as much promise as I thought he did, I feel like he would have succeeded more in this cast, where not many people were that great. And he should have been able
We here?
But I do think he did make mistakes, and I can't say with certainty that he is at that 5. So that's
Okay, you know what? Let's go sleep and then we will continue on after that.
Actually, wait, I'm between a 4 and a 5 with him. I honestly was originally leaning towards a 5, but
The finest room in the house is available for your immediate comfort.
Just 'cause, like, I don't know, I feel like overall, I was thinking, okay, put him in a random season, he's gonna do,
Yeah, I don't
he's
think,
gonna do
like,
average.
he says that he would have gone home over Rowe. I don't
You're
think
putting him in a
he
season
would.
with a bunch of people who are
He was
not
against Rowe. He would have Tina Terra.
think that an average
He would
player, like,
have
would do much better than
Austin
he did.
Braden,
And now,
and then
considering
he would
the fact
have
that, like, I kept in my mind thinking he lasted a lot longer than he did.
Victoria. Like, it's 5 votes
We've
there.
lost 3 people. He's the 4th person out. That's so
Out of what?
early.
Out of 7,
And the
right?
fact that he was,
Or wait, what round was that? That
against
was
these people who didn't really have a lot of
final
strategy, I
11.
think
So
he
out of
really
8.
could have rallied
So 5 votes out of 8.
the
I
other
think
side
that's
against the
stay.
Sunsetters, and I didn't quite
one's
see that. I
pretty
mean,
good.
yeah, technically they like formed the oddballs or whatever, but nothing really like coalesced. Nothing really happened from that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4 because also I don't think he's that memorable. I don't remember everything that he did, so kind of like,
all right, Bill.
Yeah, for me, I am kind of, I'd hate to kind of just repeat what you guys said, and I'm going to try to not, but I definitely think that, you know, I am giving Kyle ultimately a 4 as well, just because 3, bro, actually 3.
Last episode uploaded.
Like you guys were saying, he was a huge Big Brother fan. He had all that knowledge, and so I think obviously, you know, just because you're a Big Brother fan doesn't mean that's going to translate to actually being a good Big Brother player, as we've seen countless times. But he kind of he didn't even have the perception of like the typical super fan. Like he went into it as, and he could have definitely lied about like being a super fan. But I think like there was so many times where I saw Kyle talking about his camping trip and talking about like how much he did know about the game, which definitely raised some eyebrows. And it definitely obviously if you talk about how much you are a Big Brother fan and how much you've actually literally played versions of Big Brother before, like that's not really going to help you. You know, he could have gone to the game and just totally lied and said, "I've never seen a Big Brother. I don't even know what this is." He could have been like the other Kyle Moore. You know what I mean? But he didn't. And so because of that, I'm going to also give him a 4. I think a lot of it was just due. You know, yeah, like you're saying also, Melissa, he's just kind of like unmemorable. You know, whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely at a 4 for Kyle. Yeah.
All right, so there we go. That is a 4 from Phil, and the audience also went with a 4. There you go. That's going to be straight 4s for Kyle, similar to Toya there. Okay, let me, I think I might have a visual for you guys. I apologize. I didn't have one before, but there we go. There's a little bit of a visual going on here, and it's not fully up to date, but if I do that, then, oh, I'm missing me. Whoops. Alright, we're gonna pull it away for a sec. So there we go, there's Kyle. Let's talk about Austin. Phil, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, for me, I'm not too high on Austin's game overall. She started she was the first real HOH of the season. So, you know, if you're the first HOH, we've seen countless times, even going just back to Big Brother 22, where, you know, if you're the first HOH, you're able to set up a great alliance and you're able to really build the game up around you. There's so much potential for, you know, being a first HOH. And Austin did not really deliver on that, I'd personally say. And I think, Jen, as the weeks went on, I felt like her potential kind of only just got worse and worse and worse. I felt like she kind of wasn't really doing much. And then after she partnered up with Braden and then like started to maybe think about the game a little bit, it was way too little too late. And there was kind of just nothing left to say. Like when Austin left I honestly thought Austin could have stuck around just because, like, she could have just been like a whatever player, you know, someone that you could just keep around. But Austin was just someone that was just disposable. And so I'm going to give Austin a 2. That's how I'm feeling about her.
Yes, I'm in the same place. Austin was very disappointing gameplay-wise, in my opinion. She came in the first week, as you said, second week technically. But she has that HOH. She gets to set the tone. There was no HOH in the first week, and the tone that she set was this very, very passive gameplay. She then spent the rest of her time in the house, just attached at the hip to.
We're probably just gonna end here, right?
Was never
Actually,
going
no,
to be
let's go
targeted
to the
over
shop
her,
first,
so it
and
just
then
did not benefit her at all. And then, despite that, she could have found herself in a decent place because of how the competitions played out, except she fell into a trap, threw an ally under the bus, let her ally be flipped on her. Vic, when Austin was HOH, she was Vic's only friend in the entire game. And 3 weeks later, Vic evicts her from the game in a move that she does anonymously. She had the chance to target anybody, and she should not have made that move. It's again, if you go out on a move that was a mistake from your ally, something went really wrong, because that should not have happened. Austin should have been able to hold on to Vic, because it made no sense for Vic to do that to Austin. So there's just a lot here. She never should have been out that early anyway. She was not doing super well. You know, like, she was a person who should have been able to ride to the end, as a sort of like, hey, I can be a floater, but she wasn't. She was firmly on a side, and she was enough of a threat to people in the game. She didn't play ball with them. That they wanted her out, and they were like, Austin was the target that the other side did want out and would have targeted had they won. And she shouldn't have been. And so yeah, I was also at a 2 here for Vic. Or sorry, for Austin.
For Austin. I was like, wait, are we in Vic already? What's going on? Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Austin had so much promise and just didn't have that fire, didn't have that drive, didn't want to do anything. Like, I mean, this is the first season in a long time where the person who wins, like, the first HOH doesn't get into the Big Giant Alliance or get anything out of being the first HOH. I feel like it was like she just hoped that people would come and talk to her and, like, didn't even try anything. It just, I mean, and then it was like that throughout the whole season. She just would hang out with Brayden, and that was about it. And even when it was her and Brayden on the block together, it wasn't like, okay, but now I gotta, like, do my own thing. It was like they would campaign together, and it was not good. I mean,
that's the thing.
And I think also it's like, it's a little unfair, because I think that we look at Brayden a little differently than we do Austin now, because we got to see Brayden on his own and we never got to see Austin that way. But, you know, it's the truth. I do think that Austin just didn't have it. The one thing I will say is that I do think socially, like, you could drop her on any season, and she could do pretty well socially, I think. So I do want to give her credit for that. And also, she won a competition or 2, maybe, I don't remember. But the fact is, she can win competitions. That's something that's good. So yeah, I'm going to give her a 3, because I could see a situation where you put her in another season and she does well. But I don't know if she's got that drive to actually do well. Like, I don't know if she cares. And that's what makes me a little concerned.
Yeah, if you put her on Big Brother 21, she's making, like, top 8 at least, you know what I mean? But I also agree that I don't think she could win regardless.
All right, well, Austin also got a 2 from the audience. So there you go for Austin. And now we will talk about Victoria, who ended up leaving right after Austin, right after that invisible HOH week. So, you know, Melissa, do you want to start with Vic?
Yeah, I can start. I as much as Victoria was a great character, she was not a great player. She targeted people who she didn't need to target, and who really she shouldn't have targeted. It did a little bit seem like she was targeting women who she just didn't want working with the guys. I don't know. was a little odd because it's like, okay, she targets Latoya, she targets
We'll
Austin
end up to reload in.
because she wanted to work with like Ty and Jet. I don't know. It's like I just didn't like that, and I feel like you put her in any
Everything
season,
in
and if
order.
she's gonna have like
Right
issues
behind
with
you.
the women, then
But also,
you're gonna have a
are we
problem.
like going to the wrong place?
Also, you know, she just made some bad moves. She did some things that did not make any sense. She would trust people that she shouldn't have trusted. She had this whole like oddballs alliance, which like
Yeah, that's
could have
the West
actually
Bank.
gone pretty
Says that we
far
should
and
go to
done
the
pretty
East
well.
Bank.
And instead,
What's
she
the
kind of
East
just
Bank,
threw it
yeah.
all away so that she could work
Like,
again
obviously, I know
with
where East is, but I'm saying, like, where's
Jet
the
and
actual
Ty,
bank?
and it doesn't.
Like, is it
it's
this
not great.
area?
But she is really good at competitions, and well, I don't know about really good, but she's good at
we'll figure it out.
competitions, and she can hold her own. And I think that, you know, she really does have the drive, and I do
no.
think she has that. So I
That's the
have to
episode.
give her
We'll probably
credit
do
for
one
that.
more.
However, she made a lot of bad moves, and I could see her making those bad moves over and over and over again. Like, I don't think it's one of those situations where it's like, well, this was like a weird situation. No, like she